Hello everyone, we recently replaced our water heater, and I wanted to tell you some signs that your water heater might need replacing. There's some obvious signs, but there's also some less obvious signs that we've noticed since we've gotten this new water heater. We got it yesterday, and suddenly we're already noticing things that are that are different. Now, we had a neighbor install ours, and he claimed that there's some differences now in water heaters as far as rules about them. Anyway, ours used to plug into a plug. And he says that they're not supposed to do that anymore, that they're supposed to directly plug into, I don't know, the electric, and maybe this is what that does there, I don't know. I don't see a plug, so I don't know how it's being worked, but the only thing I notice is different is this part here. So, and then they're also supposed to have a pan under them. So these are two things that my old water heater didn't have. Now, there's obvious signs when your water heater breaks. One is that it leaks. And then, if it leaks, and another thing that can happen, which usually happens after it's leaked and it's totally drained itself, is that it can burn up. Now, not the last water heater, but the water heater before that, we had it burned up. I got worried because I had to call the fire department to make sure that the fire hadn't went further. But fortunately it hadn't. But, so that's what happened to the water heater before the last one we had. And then this last one, the last one was leaking. Now, we had a bit of a problem, because if you notice, we don't have a door on our laundry room. Our door got blown away in Hurricane Wilma. And we would like to get a new door, but the problem is that the frame is rotted. As you can see, you can see it's pulling away. So we need a new frame, I think, before we can get a new door. So, but in this case, actually, it might have been kind of good, because the water heater water was leaking out the door instead of coming into the house. So, in that way, it was, I guess, fortunate. But we were having a problem because we didn't have a water. We were like, well, and it's been raining a lot, as you can maybe see from our sky. We were like, well, is this water from the water heater, or is it rain coming in and doing it? Well, it was water from the water heater. Okay, so leaking is an obvious sign, though sometimes it can be confusing if your water heater is exposed to the elements. Burning up is definitely an obvious sign that your water heater has just died. And then, of course, your water bill will probably go up a little bit if it's leaking. So, those are very obvious signs. Two of them mean that, well, one means the burning up means your water heater's dead. Leaking and your water bill going up means it's dying and going into death throes. But there's there's other signs that may not be so obvious, you may not link to your water heater dying, and those are the ones I want to tell you about today. Now, this is our old water heater, and as you can see, it was exposed to a lot of rust. Of course, appearance will clue you in that your water heater is dying, particularly as you can see, it's all rusted along the bottom. And if you look down here, I'm going to have to do this in between those neighbors doing his stuff. Okay. As you can see along here, it's cracked. That's where the water was coming from. As you can see, it was in really bad condition. And as you can see, also it was a plug-in. So let me go inside. All right. So, other signs that your water heater is going, that it's going, but you may not, that are not as obvious. I'm going to stick in the kitchen here because my mom's taking a shower. And, well, we sometimes run around naked in the hall, so to make sure there's no embarrassing footage. Though I know some people on YouTube might like to see that. Then again, you may not. Anyway, getting off the point here. Okay. Well, okay, so signs, other signs that your water heater's going that you're not going to notice. One, your water is not heating up right away. You turn on the hot water and you have to wait a few minutes for it to start getting hot. Now, I didn't realize we've been living with that for a pretty good while. And it never occurred to me that was because the water heater was sick. With this new water heater, suddenly the water's pretty much, when we turn on the hot water, it pretty much comes out. Well, it doesn't, well, I don't know. Actually, it's kind of funny. It does, well, in the bathroom, it doesn't seem to be working quite as much in the sink, but, yeah, I'm in the kitchen, so don't come into the naked in the kitchen. I don't know, my mom just showered, so I don't know if there's, and I don't know how long it takes for them to heat up. But anyway, what I have noticed, at least in the bathtub, is that the water comes out hot right away. Yesterday, the water was coming out hot right away. I don't know if, since my mom just showered, whether maybe there's, maybe it has less hot water or something, but we'll see. Anyway, so that's one sign. The water should get hot more right away. Another sign is that the water will taste funny sometimes. My mom said that our water started tasting salty right before the water heater seemed to break, totally break. It was starting to taste funny. And then another sign is that your water is hard. Now, what is hard water? Well, hard water is kind of difficult because it's very hard to wash soap off. When you with your shampoo or your soap, it'll lather in soft water. But when water becomes hard, it won't lather, and then it also won't rinse off. And I was starting to get a buildup in my hair. The sticky, whenever I brushed my hair, I was getting this sticky white stuff, and no, it wasn't lice. It was actually because I couldn't seem to rinse the shampoo out of my hair. So, and it wasn't dandruff really either, but, so that was, and that was one sign, and now suddenly, now that we have the new water heater, it is lathering. So, those are less obvious signs. Now, what gets a little complicated now, this, really what I'm talking about with the soft water, I live in the States and I get city water. Now, if you live in another country, I don't know what they do with their water. And if you have well water, of course it's a different game. In the States, if you get city water, the city usually processes the water. They put softeners in it, and at least my area, they put softeners in it. They put fluoride in it so that our teeth are a little stronger, and and they clean the water too, so it doesn't get an ugly yellow or brown color. Now, sometimes, towards the end of the month, sometimes they these things that they do don't seem to be in the water, and so we'll have 1 or 2 days where the water is hard, or it's an ugly brown yellow of color and we don't really want to drink from it. But that only lasts 1 or 2 days. If it's lasting for more than that, if it's going on for weeks, then you might think that this is probably the culprit is your water heater. So anyway, those are some signs, and you know, to think about. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for more. Sorry about the view of the ugly kitchen, by the way, but I couldn't do it outside since my neighbor was working on something.